The grand bells of St. Peter's Basilica echoed across the cobblestone streets of Vatican City. Tourists posed for photos under the gilded arches while pilgrims murmured prayers with trembling lips. It was a holy Wednesday morning, the day of Papal audience, when thousands gathered to witness a moment with the most powerful religious figure on earth. But no one noticed the woman sitting silently in the very back pew. She wasn't dressed like the others. No head covering, no neat jacket or modest shoes. Just a worn denim coat, a faded pink scarf, and hands that trembled with cold and uncertainty. Her name was Isabella Moretti, and she had walked all night to get there, not because she was a tourist, not because she was devout, but because she had nothing left. Once a music teacher in Naples, Isabella had lost everything in the past year: her job, her apartment, and, after obter court battle, even custody of her son. She had stopped praying months ago. God, she thought, had stopped listening, but something in her, maybe the memory of a hymn from her childhood, had led her in. I just want to feel seen, she whispered to herself. Seen Doy's judgment from the faithful. The basilica was bustling. Cameras clicked. Ushers in dark suits monitored the flow of people. As more dignitaries arrived, the pews up front were filled with diplomats, bishops, and influencers invited for the day esse Papal adoece. Isabella stayed in the back. She didn't want attention, only a moment of silence, a breath of peace. But peace wouldn't come. Two parishioners sitting nearby, noticing her tattered clothes, exchanged whispers. She doesn't belong here. Maybe she is lost. Or worse. Soon, an usher approached her. Ma'am, he said politely, but firmly. This section is reserved. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable outside with the general crowd. Isabella stood. Her eyes burned, but she refused to cry. I am not asking for anything, she said quietly. Just to listen. But rules were rules. And before she could respond again, the usher reached toward her arm. But as when the crowd shifted, a hush fell, because Pope Francis had entered the sanctuary. He walked slowly, humbly, flanked by Swiss guards but separated from them by the warmth of his presence. The crowd leaned in, men holding out rosaries and photos. But as he approached the Santuario, he stopped. His gaze shifted not toward the diplomats or the cameras, but toward the back of the basilica, toward her. The usher, still holding Isabella's arm, looked startled as the Pope stepped off course. Scusi, Pope Francis said gently. He gestured for the usher to step aside. Then he looked at Isabella, not past her, not through her but into her eyes. What is your name, figlia mia? Her lips trembled. Isabella. The Pope extended his hand. Will you walk with me? Mouths dropped up. Smartphones were lifted, snapping photos and video in disbelief. Isabella hesitated, but his hand remained outstretched and wavering, so she took it. Together, they walked through the aisle of St. Peter's Basilica, past bishops and billionaires, past gold and marble, past those who had dismissed her as a nobody. As they reached the front, the Pope did not place her in the shadows. He gave her a seat beside him. Today, he told the crowd, I will speak less with words and more with actions. And he did. When he stood to give his homily, Isabella remained seated beside him. And when he spoke, it was not of doctrine or theology, but of compassion. The church, he said, is not a museum for saints. It is a hospital for the broken. And no one should be turned away for looking like they need healing. The service ended, but Isabella stayed frozen in her seat. She felt something unfamiliar: warmth, safety, worth. As the crowds dispersed, a quiet woman from the Vatican's charity office approached her. The Pope asked me to help. There is a shelter nearby. Work opportunities, if you want them. Isabella nodded slowly. I don't know what to say. Say yes. The woman smiled. Since 1 year later. It was Easter Sunday. The basilica was once again filled, but this time, Isabella was not in the back. She sat among the choir, dressed in white and gold, her hair pulled back neatly. In her hands, she held a violin. As the organ swelled and the mass began, Isabella closed her eyes and played. In the front row, Pope Francis looked up and smiled, because he remembered what men had forgotten. A church is not built from stone, each is built from mercy. Sometimes, all each takes is one hand to save us soul from slipping through the cracks.